Can you guys hear me? Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1. Oh, you can't hear me. Okay. Because the light is blinking. So if you can't hear me, if the sound goes out, thank you for putting the 1. If the sound goes out, let me know. Because you see the light is blinking green and red. Anyhow, I hope you guys are doing well today. It's Makeda Valletta. I'm Makeda Valletta. And I'm on my travel page, Makeda Valletta Travels, live on Instagram. And I will repost it to my YouTube. So make sure you follow me in both places. In case you're unfamiliar with me, I'm a native New Yorker who lives in Chicago, who travels a lot in the country and out of the country. And lately, I've been really focused on traveling in the country, doing road trips and stuff like that. And for those of you who are American or outside of America, you should know that every state is like its own country, okay? America is a huge country, very diverse, and very different in different parts of the country. And so right now, I want to do a talk on Michigan cannabis culture, okay? Because, and I'll probably do an update to this soon because I think I'm going to be spending more time in Michigan. But lately, I've done a road trip a couple of times from Chicago to the East Coast, either to D.C., which is a 10-hour drive from Chicago to D.C., or from Chicago to New York, which is an 11.5-hour drive. And both times you drive from Chicago into Indiana and then into Ohio. But there's a certain point in Indiana where you are on the border of Indiana and Michigan. Like you're in Indiana, and if you cross the street, you're in Michigan, right? And so I would always hear people from Chicago talking about, cannabis in Michigan was cheap. I always heard this, and I was in Detroit last year. I went to a dispensary actually in Ann Arbor last year, and that's where the University of Michigan was. And I noticed that it was more affordable because the prices in Chicago are better than New York and a lot of places actually. Chicago has a lot of sales in the dispensaries. But I remember when I was in Ann Arbor, it was priced well, a little bit cheaper, and they allowed you to smell the cannabis, okay? So in New York, in Illinois, in New Jersey, probably in Pennsylvania, and a lot of states, they don't let you smell the cannabis. So let you smell it in Colorado, okay? Never been to a dispensary in California, so you can let me know if they allow you to smell it. But the places I've been to, dispensaries I've seen it in Colorado and I've seen it in Michigan, where they'll allow you to smell it, which is good because if you're buying produce, people like to smell the produce and touch the produce and see if it's good produce. Nobody wants to go buy mangoes and stuff that's already in plastic that you don't get to choose which mango it is, right? You like to do your own sensory testing. So anyhow, I stopped in this town called Sturgis, Michigan, okay? Sturgis, Michigan. And it's literally across the street from Indiana. And when you're on the highway in Indiana, I think it's 80 West, I think is a highway that I'm driving. Oh, let me check. It's one highway that you go from Chicago to New York. And this town, Sturgis, Michigan, there's literally like 15 dispensaries on one block. And it's like a very small one-horse town, okay? Where literally you see people walking down you see people going down the road with horse and buggies. And it's a very white town. It looks like you're in West Virginia, but it's very rural. And the people there look like they've had a rough life, but it's, again, very rural, and it's all these dispensaries. Like, the only black people I see in this town look like they're there for weed. And they probably came from Chicago or Ohio or something like that, or Indiana even. Yes, it's 80 West that you take the whole route. That's the one highway, okay? So 80 West if you're going to Chicago from the East Coast, and 80 East if you're going to the East Coast, to New York from the East Coast. So from Chicago. So anyhow, this town, Sturgis, Michigan, is all these dispensaries. Now, every state has different laws. The law in Michigan is that you can purchase 2.5 ounces of weed per transaction, and there's no purchase limit. So what that means is, oh, can you guys hear me? Did I go out? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Oh, you can hear me. Did I ever go out? Because it looked like the microphone was off. Let me know if I went out for a moment and you didn't hear what I was saying. Okay. Thank you for the 1. Did you miss anything that I said? Did you guys miss anything? Okay, well, nobody's... I guess let's keep talking. So hopefully you heard everything I said because the mic looked like it went off. Oh, it never went out. Okay, thank you. If it does, please tell me. Okay. So every state like has the amount that you can purchase per transaction, and they have a daily limit or a weekly limit. I don't know how they monitor that because you can obviously go to different dispensaries. I don't think anybody's really keeping track of that. But it's interesting because they don't do that with alcohol. You can go into a liquor store and buy as much alcohol as you want. You can go buy 10 bottles of vodka and 10 bottles of rum and nobody says anything. But people in the liquor store, you have alcoholics, people getting into fights, people getting all kinds of stuff in the liquor store. You go to a dispensary, everybody's chill. It's heavily, you can't even walk in the dispensary if you don't show your ID first, and you have to get buzzed in. It's so heavily regulated, but they don't do that with alcohol, which is way more destructive. So make that make sense. But anyhow, in Michigan, in this town, they literally have ounces of weed for $25, for $50, like $20, $30, $40, $50, $60 ounces of weed. Yes, they do have ounces of weed that's 125 or 200 and, more expensive. But there are plenty of ounces of weed that are $25 to $50, $25 to $60, okay? And a lot of that has to do with because a lot of that cannabis in Michigan is sun-grown, okay? So when you have sun-grown cannabis, it's going to be more affordable than indoor, where people have. So, and I literally, so I've gone to the dispensaries there about 3 times. Now, just now, when I drove to New York, I stopped at one dispensary. The first dispensary I stopped at was called 20 past 4, okay? 20 past 4. And at 20 past 4, I bought 2.5 ounces. Okay, this is this place, 20 past 4, okay? This is a great strain right here called Green Goddess. It's a great sativa, and I love it. This I got a half an ounce of. This half ounce might have been like 30 of this strain, right? But then I got 2 other ounces that were $25. And they actually, the $25 ounces that I got, they were actually on sale for maybe 15, I think. Okay. And then, so that first dispensary, I was going to get more than 2.5 ounces, but because the law in Michigan said 2.5 ounces per transaction, but no purchase limit. So when I had gone to Michigan before to get it, I went to a different dispensary called True Leaf, okay? True Leaf in Sturgis, Michigan. When I went there, they said, oh yeah, you could, if you want to buy 4 ounces, you just buy 2.5, leave out, and come back in and make the remaining purchase. They said you had to leave out and come back in between. I'm like, okay, weird, but okay. Then they would ask you, what else do you want? Like if you bought the 2.5, they would say, what else do you want? So they could get it ready for you. You would leave and just come back in and get it. So that's in True Leaf, right? But when I was at 20 past 4 and I thought I could do that, they told me, oh no, we can't do that. We can only do 2.5 ounces per day because we'll get fined. And I was confused by that because I'm like, how will you get fined when the law says that it's 2.5 ounces per transaction with no purchase limit? So I didn't understand that. But with no purchase limit means there's no limit to the amount that you can purchase. It just has to be 2.5 ounces per transaction. But it could be as many transactions as possible. So I didn't get that, but they were saying, oh yeah, the other dispensaries, they can probably do that because they can afford the fines. And I wasn't understanding that because I read the law. But I said, okay, I'm not going to argue with them. So I got 2.5 ounces from 20 past 4. I think I paid like $60 for 2.5 ounces from this place, right? Then I went to True Leaf. And at True Leaf, I should remember this before I did this video. But at True Leaf, I got 2 ounces. Yes. Got 2 ounces for my twin. And then I got a bunch of edibles, right? So the edibles, okay, now the problem, I have another page called The Body Scientist, and so you should really follow that page if you want to know about health and ingredients and cannabis medicine. I talk about that more in depth on my page, The Body Scientist. In case you don't know about my full background, I am an exercise physiologist and sports nutritionist, and I did just graduate with a Master's of Science in Medical Cannabis Science and Therapeutics. So I study the medicinal sides of it, but also I'm into quality. So we have these gummies, which if in New York or Chicago, if you buy gummy edibles in a dispensary, they come in 100 milligram packs, right? So it's a 100 milligram pack. It's 10 pieces, so it's 10 milligrams a piece. And they could charge you $30 on average for that 100 milligram pack. A lot of times in Chicago, they have sales. It could be cheaper. It could be more expensive, but let's say it's 30 on average. A lot of times I would get it on sale if I were going to buy gummies in Chicago. So I would get a 100 milligram pack for like $15. And I thought that was a good price. In Michigan, they have 200 milligram packs, which are 10 pieces, 20 milligrams a piece. These were 5 for $25. Some of them were 5 for $15. Okay, so that means $3 a pack, $5 a pack. Okay, for 200 milligram packs, not 100 milligram packs. So the amount that you could pay in Chicago on sale for one 100 milligram packs, you can get in Michigan 5 200 milligram packs. So that's 100 milligrams worth of THC edibles versus 1,000 milligrams of THC edibles. Okay, so and when I stopped there this time driving here, they were having all kinds of sales for the holidays, and I know that when Black Friday happened, it dropped even lower because they had ounces for $25 and $50 that was 50% off and 55% off. Okay. So I left True Leaf. I got 2 ounces in True Leaf, and I got a bunch of edibles. And then I went to, and I should have had the prices, because I remembered how much I paid on top of my head, and now that it's been a few days, I forgot, and I didn't write it down. Hold up. I could get up and just get the receipt, but now I'm gonna have to get up. Give me 1 moment. Hold on. Okay, I got 2 receipts, okay? I can tell you the exact price. Okay, so for the first store I went to, which was called 20 Past 4, I got half an ounce of Green Co. Goddess. I said that I just told you I spent $30 for that half an ounce. I spent 18. You see? Let's look at this receipt. Hold on. Okay. Let's look at this receipt, okay? You can see I spent $18 for Green Co. Goddess, which is half an ounce. And then I get 2 ounces of a strain called Squirt for $25 for 2 ounces. So the total that I spent was $50 for 2.5 ounces, okay? $50.14 for 2.5 ounces of cannabis, okay? So that's from the first place I went to, which is called 20 Past 4. Then I went to True Leaf and I got 2 ounces in edibles. I think I might have spent like 60 something in that place. 2.5 ounces of weed and 5 packs of 200 milligram packs of edibles. And then when I went to True Leaf, I asked them again, because that was the place I've gone to before that in the past, where they said if you want to buy more than 2 ounces, 2.5 ounces, just get a 2.5. We'll pay you for the, you buy the 2.5, leave, come back. We'll give you the rest. But this time I didn't, I asked them just to make sure, since the last place, 20 Past 4, told me that was against the law, which I didn't understand. So then I went to a third dispensary called Levels, okay? And Levels, when I went into Levels, they had all kinds of more deals that weren't even on the website, more slash downs. They had ounces that were $11, okay, that they had put on sale, right? Now this place, I ended up buying 4 ounces of weed and more edibles, right? Because I was just getting it for myself. I was getting 2 ounces for my twin. I was getting 2 ounces for my dad's really good friend, who was like a friend of the family. I was getting some to infuse into my cannabis oil and my castor oil and my butter. So that's why I got so many ounces. Now, the last place I went to, this is the receipt for True Leaf right here. So True Leaf, I can tell you exactly how much I spent. I spent, what was it? $76 at True Leaf. Now, what did I get? I got the edible packs that I got were all $3 each, okay? So I got 5 packs of edibles. Actually, they were $3 and $3.50. A couple of them were $3.50. So 5 packs of 200 milligram edibles. And I was getting these for also friends of mine, because I have a friend that is an edible person. So all this wasn't for me, just understand. So we have 5 packs of 200 milligram edibles at $3 a piece. Then I got 2 ounces of weed, kosher kush and jelly donuts for my twin. And each ounce of weed was $25. And then we had the 5 packs of 200 milligram edibles. The total for all of that was $76.56, and that's with the sales tax. The sales tax is $3.90. So the subtotal without the fees was $66. Then with the excise tax, which is $6, and the sales tax $3.90, total tax $10.56. The total was $76.56. That's at True Leaf in Sturgis, Michigan. The last place I went to was Levels, and I don't have that receipt in front of me, so I don't remember. I did remember what the total was. In Levels, I bought 2 ounces. Yeah, I bought 2 ounces for myself. And then I bought more edibles, and I can't remember what the price is, but you can see how cheap it is, so you get the point, right? So all of that. Now, when you go into dispensaries in Michigan, at least in Sturgis, I can't remember how it was in Ann Arbor, but what happens is once you show them your ID and they buzz you in, you have to sit in the waiting room until they come get you. Like, they'll come personally and get you. So in other states, when you give them your ID, they will immediately just buzz you in and let you in. Can you guys still hear me? It looks like my mic went out. I'm going to plug my phone up because it's dying, so I'm not using the mic anymore. Let me know if you guys can still hear me or if I ever went out, because the mic is supposed to be green when it's working, and it wasn't green anymore. So let me know if you guys didn't hear me at any point. The other thing I wanted to say, okay, I'm talking about Michigan. I've been wanting to talk about Michigan because ever since I've seen those prices, it's hard for me to get weed anywhere else, okay? So if I move back to New York from Chicago, I don't know what I'm going to do, because Michigan is like 2 hours away from Chicago, okay? There's probably parts of it that's closer than that, especially depending on where you're coming from in Chicago. So now, the other thing is Massachusetts. Last month, I took a road trip up to, and I wanted to talk about all this. I've just been so busy. I did a road trip up to Amherst, Massachusetts, and to Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Amherst, Massachusetts is a 2.5 hour drive from New York City. Great Barrington is a little bit less than 2 hours. Okay, it's a beautiful drive through upstate New York. You could go through Connecticut depending on which way you go. And Massachusetts also had really good prices. Not as good as Michigan. Okay, and they didn't allow you to smell it. But some of the dankest, best smelling cannabis I've ever experienced came in Massachusetts. They had $15 eighths. So when I was in Michigan, this is a strain called Queen Mandarin, okay? I still keep this container because it smells so good. Like, every time I open this, oh my God, the terpenes in here is so strong, it's crazy. Like, it has such a strong orange smell. It's amazing. So I obsessively hold on to this so I can just sniff it every now and then. I can't throw away this great smelling terpenes. So did you say I went out? Oh, I can't see, but okay. So Massachusetts. I haven't been to anything in Boston. Amherst and Great Barrington are not anywhere near Boston. They're deeper in the state. They're like, if you're in and they're closer to New York City. Boston is 4 hours from New York City. So this is more rural Massachusetts, and Massachusetts is a beautiful state. The East Coast is beautiful, okay? Massachusetts is a beautiful state, and Massachusetts definitely has like $15 eighths, which is still good. It's not as good as the $15 ounces you can get out of, or this $18 half ounce I got out of Michigan. But still, $15 eighth is good. If you're a weed smoker, you know that a lot of times eighths could be $40 and up. Sometimes $30 could be a good price, but a $15, $12 eighth is good. Maybe I can't remember how much the ounces were in Massachusetts. You might have been able to find $80 ounces, which is still a good price, because ounces a lot of times can be $150 and up. Are you saying you can't hear me? If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, you can hear me. So why does somebody say they can't hear me? Okay, so the person who put a 1, I keep asking you guys who've been listening. The whole time you've been listening, was there a time when I went out? Because the microphone seemed like it was being funny. So was there a time when I was talking and it was silence? Did that happen? Please let me know. Nobody's letting me know. But maybe I'll just end this video soon so I don't waste my time telling a story that nobody can hear. But have you been to, anybody watching this video, have you experienced cannabis in Michigan? If so, please comment. What about Massachusetts? What are your thoughts? Michigan is low-key the California of the East Coast, even though they consider Michigan the Midwest, which to me makes no sense because Michigan is very close to the East Coast. To me, that area should be called the Mid-East, okay? Somebody said, no, I never went out. Somebody said, I can hear you now. So can somebody else respond and say, did you hear me go out? If somebody heard me go out for some time, please tell me. Please let me know. There's more than 2 people listening. So please let me know. So anybody else listening, while I was talking, did I ever go out? Yes or no? Okay. Well, I will end this here. I think I got my point across. I'm definitely going to be checking out some cannabis dispensaries in, cannabis events in Michigan. I'm definitely going to be checking out some cannabis events in Michigan in 2025. And then I'll have more to report on cannabis culture in Michigan. But yeah, if you guys have anything you want to share, let me know. Otherwise, if you're close to Michigan, or you're going to be going through it, check it out. If you have anything you want to share, report, please do. You have favorite dispensaries, let me know. All that good stuff. And I am working on doing cannabis events coming up in Michigan, in the DC area, in the New York area, in the Chicago area. Okay? So until then, have a great day, people, and take care of yourself. Okay? All right. Bye. Thanks for listening. And follow me on YouTube and Instagram. Okay. Bye.